Alright, so there is Howard Hughes Spruce Goose. Largest wooden aircraft, and it is big. It is hard to describe how big it is unless you are here looking at it. The wings, each wing looks about the length of the fuselage, so they have very big wings, and it has 8 huge piston engines on each side. There you see the gearing rods that actuate the flaps. And this thing is huge. Definitely worth coming down to see it. So here is the XF-11 Hughes aircraft, but the one that got him almost killed, I think, was called the H1. You see, this one here is a single prop model, but you can see here he had a counter-rotating prop model, and apparently when he was flying it, something happened with one of the engines, and it caused him to go out of control and crash, which nearly killed him. But it was a very cool design. And it even has a little Howard Hughes inside of it. So Howard Hughes, he was quite the person. One of the great innovators of the modern era. That's where he made his money, was patents for drilling equipment. There's a neat looking old ride. So let us start heading up towards the flight deck here for my tour. So there's another small model of the, I think they called it the Hercules, didn't they? Spruce Goose. And so I have to get up here for my tour. You know, somebody who is going to be very jealous. But yeah, look at these engines.
With his OCD, all the engines upstairs
get my readers on here. So there is the Spruce Goose. You see that has the widest wings, the most engines. The Antonov 225 Mariah, which was destroyed by Russians in Ukraine. Airbus A380, which is yellow. And the Boeing 747.8 in orange, brown.
They're working on, well, they got the
So the AN Antonov was still the longest. And the Airbus,
that one is the first one
and the Spruce Goose were nearly the same tail height, 1 inch taller for the Spruce Goose. Huh, interesting.
I think the P-80 was another skunk works, and there's one more. I'm not sure which one it is.
Did they do YouTube?
I think they did, yeah.
There you go.
Don't have one.
H1 Hercules.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Well, we'll head on, do some Vietnam War stuff.
Interesting look at the size of this thing, massive volume.
It's a natural historic landmark, but it moves around. Come look at this. I don't know if this is a section.
So I'm just waiting for my tour guide now.
3 pieces.
And I guess they finished it out to a bare bones state with necessary flight control equipment. I don't know what these beach balls are, but I'm sure they're something.
It has a bit.
Oh, was that fire suppression, I guess? Okay, well, let me close the camera here for a minute and wait for my tour guide.
The matting in there is 6 foot, so it kind of gives you a reference of a 6 foot man with the rest of it. It goes all the way to that door plus another 20 to 25 feet back. And then you can go, there's a ladder in there in the tail section that takes you up about 80 feet.
Okay, I take it this here's all hydraulic control.
Yeah. Hydraulic and also a lot of wiring.
Right.
Most of the electrical wiring pretty much is not covered, it's not shielded or anything like that. The only real metals are mostly that has to do with air intakes and fuel. These here are escape air from the fuel tanks to give them release pressure, things
Wood.
like that, but all this is wood. This is all wood.
Yeah,
So technically, this thing was built with 90% birch and about 10% spruce. But spruce flowed.
Right, well, spruce sounds better than Bruce Goose.
Yeah, exactly. Birch goose.
Yeah, birch goose, there we go.
So this is a huge air handling system throughout the whole aircraft. So we give them a little air for pressure if they went over 10,000 feet. You also have a circuit, a board here. So there was a guy that was sitting right here, and he would basically watch this board control.
Working, isn't it? Is this thing shutting off again?
Alright. Like I was telling you.
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
You pay attention? Okay, you heard me? Okay, good. Alright, let's go upstairs.
Okay. I guess guys over a certain size wouldn't make it up here.
Yeah, well, actually, these steps here, I don't know if they would actually be there or not, and the other ones that were built, because there was another entrance and exit way through here.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have to squeeze through this hole here. They might have made it a little bigger. But there's a crawl to the rear wings,
Oh boy.
and then through, and there's a ladder that's down there, and you would take that down into the hull area.
Oh boy. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, and wing access here.
So you have wing access on both sides,
Uh-huh.
where you can actually get behind the engines. So if you had to do any kind of maintenance while you were flying, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Then I suppose in flight they would climb out there and look around and
Yeah,
make sure
they'll
things
make
are...
sure there's no leaks or anything like that.
Mhm.
You know. Hydraulic tank there. So this is a crow's nest. So for docking purposes. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
you came to dock, the guy would stand up here and he'd be on a radio. He'd talk to the pilot, and then the pilot had a joystick up there that would actually joystick it right into the dock.
Okay. Are these generators?
Yep.
Okay.
This is how they would start the engines, basically from, if they were out in the middle of the sea and they had
Sure.
to land, they would use these to start the engines. You got a crank here. If it didn't start electrical, if you
Or-
can hand crank it, you can hand crank it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would want to do it.
Yeah, a heck of a back kick, I bet.
I bet.
Wow.
Yeah, electrical wiring has certainly changed over the years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bet it was pretty loud, too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The big cockpit area, a lot of seating for dignitaries, things like
Mhm.
that. These windows were not built originally. These were put on later on.
Mhm.
When it was at Long Beach, they put these on.
Mm-hmm.
Because they used to have a platform out there at Long Beach. You would walk on the platform and you'd look inside from the window. You weren't allowed inside the plane then.
Mm.
So a couple of emergency hatches. So propeller test station, you'd have a guy sitting here. You'd have two guys sitting over here, one there, two engineers there, pilot and co-pilot. So this is the black box. You know what a black box is nowadays, right? Well, this is the black box back then.
Gotta get my readers on to be able to read these things.
Oh, it's on the windows there. Yeah.
No
with that.
seatbelt.
Hmm?
No seatbelt.
No seatbelts. Nope. If they were, they would take it out. Yeah.
Can I give it a test seat?
Yeah, go ahead. Have a seat. They're not bad.
Oh. Well, I could see you could take a nap up here.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got you
yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, they go back. They there's a little switch right there. You pull up on it and it'll go back.
Yeah, pretty slick. I could just see old Howard himself right
He-
there.
Yeah, he was right over there.
Well,
So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys sitting up here. And when they did the only flight that it took, they had guys. They had another guy downstairs. They had a guy in the tail section. Had a guy down in the fuel area. Guy in the midsection. So they had about 15 guys all spread out.
Mm-hmm. Boy, computer screens were sure a lot different back then.
Yeah.
Now, what do you got here? Is that coffee?
Yeah, it's coffee maker. Basically,
Absolutely.
somebody pours some coffee in there and they have it. This is the engineering section here. Each row, straight down row, is one engine. So you have 8 engines.
Oh
Two
boy.
guys be sitting here. All these switches, all these gauges, everything has to do with nothing but the engines and everything. It's a lot of stuff going on. There are pictures with that section, that panel section there, and that panel section not there. So we don't know exactly when or it was taken out or put in or anything like that. You have radio here. You have voice and key.
Oh, yeah.
So, one guy would be here. Howard had his own air. He did not share air with the rest of the crew. Howard had his own little air thing because Howard was he believed
Hypochondriac.
He was a hypochondriac, so he did not want to have anything to do with any of that stuff.
Very interesting.
Pretty wide open. Unlike most cockpits nowadays, it's real wide open.
It does actually have a pretty good view, and he's got.
Yeah.
Is that a thermometer on the glass, or?
That's ours.
Okay.
We if anything gets over 85 degrees up here, we stop tours.
Oh.
Actually, it's 80, I think.
Oh,
So.
Cooking up,
Yeah, it can get a little.
Well, you got that
I don't suppose this is the original hat.
No, that was not the original.
But it sure does look like it.
Yeah, well, we used to take pictures up here. We used to have a camera.
Take your time.
We used to send it over to the store, and they would print it out if you wanted to print it out. So we would say, hey, you want to put the hat on? Go ahead and look like Howard. And we used to allow people to sit in chairs up there, but now the chairs are getting pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, what is that
that
pipe there?
That pipe right there?
Yeah.
That was Howard's own air intake.
Okay, not a mask.
Nope. He had an air intake. He might have had something attached to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But that's how it is now.
Okay.
But he had his own air system. Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. What's the other way? That might be that way. Let's do it that way. This way. There you go. You bet.
Yeah, let me get you to take me
Yeah, sure.
too. It's
No
already doing video right now, so
okay.
all I gotta do is point it at me. And hopefully the lens won't break.
The dot there?
Yeah, no, just leave. Don't touch it.
Oh, you just want it?
It's
Okay,
rolling.
sorry.
Yeah.
All
okay,
right.
So, hey,
There you are at the
H1
cockpit.
Hercules and Howard Hughes's seat.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you bet. So, in the summertime, we have a nice little air conditioner over there that we try to keep it as cool as possible in here. So, but yeah, it can get pretty tricky up here.
Years
Yeah.
ago,
So is everything made out of wood?
Everything is wood, except, you got piping, of course.
That's right.
But yeah, the front, everything of the body is made out of wood. And everything is what they did was they had this machine that's cut the wood real thin, and then they layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and then they use this glue. It's called thermoglue, and they would cover the whole thing in this glue, and it would seal the wood, but it would be really light, and like that. And so then they were able to bend it, mold it. And so that's how they were able to get the angles and everything, and then they painted it. So the color outside is the original color.
do you know about how thick the skin is?
There's we go downstairs, I'll show you on the side, there's a side view
Okay.
where you can see.
Okay. Yeah, it's really interesting. The desks are plywood.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is plywood.
Everything is wood.
I mean, they spared no plywood to build this thing.
But
And they couldn't get metal.
In the beginning of the war, they were told that they could not build it
Yeah.
out of aluminum because all aluminum was for war materials.
Yeah.
And this was not considered a war plane. This was considered a civilian.
Well, I imagine had they have built the 2 and 3s, they would have been aluminum.
They were going to be aluminum.
Right.
And by that time, they figured they would be able to afford the aluminum.
Well, and didn't Congress kind of like go after him about this?
Well, they weren't going after him as much as they were going after. They said that this other guy. It's in kind of a little bit in the video. This guy was entertaining people and paying them, extravagant, taking them out to extravagant meals and parties and stuff, and using the money that was being paid for this. Supposedly, Teddy Roosevelt's son was one of the, General Roosevelt was one of the guys he supposedly took out, and he was a supporter of Howard Hughes and everything, so, you know, he was being kind of, that had a lot going on. So some senator from Vermont or something, Maine or something, was going after Howard Hughes on this.
Okay.
And Hughes told him, you know, they kept asking for this guy to please show up at the hearings, and he said, nope, he's not coming, and I'm not going to ask him to come, and that's it. And Hughes says, if you're going to taint me or anything like that, I'm just going to leave this country and say the heck with you all.
Well, it's pretty amazing what they were able to build.
Yeah, that they
Given
built
the
something like
materials.
this in the first place.
Yes.
You know, this was the prototype for any of our cargo planes that we had in the Air Force later on.
And I take it, though, is that all original plexiglass, or?
That's the original plexiglass, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything pretty much that you see up here is original.
And plexiglass was...
Except for that.
yeah. But it was pretty a new material back then, too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So this was built after his crash in the H1 or
Yes, it
H11? H1?
H1.
H1.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was, he had the twin counter-rotating props.
Right.
What was it, the gearbox failed? The oil leak and the gearbox
Something
failed
like
or
that,
something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why he became who he was afterwards, because he was so big on, he was so on medications
Right.
and pain pills and everything. He became addicted to.
Did you ever see the Leonardo DiCaprio? There was the one funny scene where he was in the men's room and the door shut and he couldn't open the door.
Yeah.
So then another guy comes in there, uses the bathroom, doesn't wash his hands, and pats him on the face. And DiCaprio did a great job of turning green.
He did a good job in that movie.
Did you see the thing we have sitting over on that side of the museum over there? It looks like the small hangar.
No,
It's
not yet.
Oh, okay. I'll show you.
Yeah,
that.
this is my
Right there,
first
that.
stop.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's about it up here. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah. It's very interesting. A lot of things that they did. The crow's nest getting behind down the wing like that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid plane. It's the wingspans and the wings have never really.
Now these are
proven
the
killer.
big 48 cylinder
Yeah, they
engines,
are. Those
right?
big ones. Yeah, you have an open model of it down there.
Okay. Yeah, and it was pretty amazing. 8 of these things on here. I mean, that is.
We still wonder if it would have handled the weight that this thing was supposed to take.
Yeah.
Especially if it took tanks and.
Well, I look at that
vehicles.
Philippine Mars,
Yeah.
and that had 4 of these on there, and I'm amazed that thing flew because those props look so tiny compared to the.
Exactly.
But they used it to fight fire. I mean, they were carrying a lot of weight for that.
They were.
Yeah, amazing. And look at all this leg space. You can't get that in an airline these
You don't
days.
get this in regular planes anymore. No. Even if you go into the DC-3 out there, there's a DC-3 over there. The legroom there is amazing. The seats are very comfortable. The legroom is great. Yeah, it's a nice plane to sit in. It would be kind of loud and long trip, but it's a nice plane to sit in. You watch the step going down. Yeah, that's how I do it. I go backwards.
Yeah. I'll do construction. I learned this trick a long time ago. I think that a fire pole would be easier.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yep.
It's hard to get up.
Well, you eat your Wheaties, work out, you'll be able to climb up there.
A little hard on the knees.
So if people do go down here, what do they find?
Storage areas down here.
Storage?
You can open up these doors and you can get down in all this area. There's just big open areas are down there.
And the front gear is under this?
There's no gear.
No? Okay,
No,
it's
it's
strictly water.
Water.
Okay.
There is no land. It's just a seaplane.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause a lot of them had gear, but
Yeah, there's one over there that has that.
the PBY.
No, the PBY is also another use over that way.
Okay. Got any idea how many miles wire in here?
No, I don't really know that. We had a guy come in about 6-7 years ago. He was one of the original electricians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, small little guy. He's about that big.
Yeah.
He said, I
Yeah.
crawled all over this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's certain circumstances where being small.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. When they were rebuilding it in here, they had 10 guys from the original builders
Okay.
that helped out.
Yeah. Well, I'm the guy they asked to pick things up, and other friends of the guy that they said, "Can you get in there?"
Okay. Okay.
So, well, good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the tour. What was you were going to show me? What over there?
So
yeah.
down here, I'll show
Yeah.
you downstairs.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
18 fly for 1 minute. 1 minute, 75 feet, 1 mile.
And it is mounted on earthquake proof.
Yeah. So this is the thing I was telling you about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Commercial.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how they would load them. But I wanted to show you something.
Okay.
This has to do with the movie.
Okay.
So after they made that movie, they gave us this thing down here. It was used
Oh, that's a beauty.
computerized version. Oh yeah, that's a C-47. That's a D-Day vet.
Okay. Oh wow.
3 missions on D-Day.
Oh boy.
2 parachutists and 1 cargo.
That is a major job, a major accomplishment.
Yeah, they're bringing that in. They brought it in last year. We're going to clean it all up and keep it inside. It used to be outside, but it was a mess.
Yeah.
Floors were terrible.
Yeah, that is history.
Yep.
Did you happen to catch the other day they found an old Henkel, like twin engine something in the forests of Germany?
No, I didn't hear about
Yeah,
that.
just I guess they just found it or something and they were pulling it out.
Wow. Henkel was bomber. 2-engine bomber.
F-86. Some say the prettiest fighter ever made.
I agree with that.
What is that one there? Twin engine in front?
This one here?
Yeah.
It's actually a Spanish thing.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
H1
Never saw.
That's a MiG right there. and
Okay.
there's another MiG over there.
15.
That one's a 15. I think that one's a 19 or 18.
Okay. Oh, there's that's a Voodoo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a different name to it. It's kind of like it's the same as a Voodoo.
Okay. Okay.
So this thing right here. So this
Oh.
was made by the studios, and so what they did was they green screened it
Sure.
and then made that
Oh, neat.
for the movie. And that's all the pictures of them building that. And these are the original pictures of them actual building. And this, the actual factory and hangars was here in Culver City, California. This was all Howard Hughes property, which now is nothing but housing. So,
Interesting. Yeah, so they, I wonder, they've got it plank siding, and so I wonder if they double-sided with planks diagonal to that, or perpendicular to it.
well, I meant to show you that when it came out. Sorry about that.
Now American coasters were about to deliver.
Yeah, because the diagonal planking is not visible on the side of it from here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's not a Mitchell there, is it?
This one?
Yeah, or I
No,
guess...
this is an A26.
Okay, yeah.
A B-25, we don't have a B-25.
Don't got? Okay.
No. There's one in Spokane
Okay.
that you can actually get inside.
Oh, that would be neat.
Do whatever you want. Get into the pilot seat, no problem.
It is just hard to express how big this thing is.
Yeah. If you want, go upstairs. There's some steps in the front there.
Mm-hmm.
And go over by the flags or the other side. You can really get a good shot of the whole thing with the museum.
Okay.
Excuse me. So if you go back up, see where those little glass things around the doorway are?
Sure.
There's a side view, and you can actually see how thick the walls are.
Oh, okay.
They're roughly around that thick.
Okay.
And the engine is right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, great. Well, thanks for your time.
You're welcome. No problem.
You bet. Enjoyed your
Thanks
tour.
for
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is an earthquake-resistant mounting for the plane, which I'm sure is good protection. And there you see I guess it's a front sponson of the plane, and then the rear. So I think this here would be to break surface tension from the back of the plane. Get up on a plane, generate some air boiling under there, and get airborne. And there you can see the 6x6 timbers. Okay, well that wouldn't be the plane though. That's the earthquake mount. All right, let's go see this door where we can see how thick the skin of the plane was. Okay, so that's it. Thin ply is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plies of plywood. And then sandwiched wood here too. And sandwiched wood here too, if you can see it. Okay, let's go take a look at the engine here. And you can see how big the engines were. So yeah, this is a major, huge treat for me and any aviation buffs. R4360 Wasp Major. You know, look at that. See those connecting rods? You've got one main rod, and then all the others connect to that part of the crank. And there's the gearing for it. So what is it, 48 times 2, so that's 96 spark plugs per engine, 2 per cylinder, 48 cylinders, times 8 engines. So I guess you probably want to flip a coin to see who's going to change the spark plugs on it. It's kind of like the B-36. It had 6 Wasp majors on it. And here's another example of the engine inside of the nacelle. And I know it had overheating issues, but this was the pinnacle of technology at the time. So there you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So multiply that by 6 more rows, 4 more rows. All right.